Alright, so here we have the Anovos, nice and shiny, but it still has a protective covering on it. We have the RS. The details are very similar, just a little bit crisper, like I said before on the Anovos. If you put them on top of each other though, they sit flush. They sit exactly how they should. The only thing I notice on this part is that they don't quite line up on the sides, even when I push them down. They're just a little bit difference here. But other than that, everything else is very similar. One is made off of the movies, and the other one is made from a 3D scan. So now here is an ab plate. Again, the detail, this is a little bit crisper, but if you look at them, they look very similar. Only thing it's missing is a little circle right here. That does make a difference. Not a big difference, but if you're doing a sand trooper and you're not putting the plate on, that's one thing maybe a MEPD might notice the difference. I don't know if they'll gig you on it, but they'll notice that difference. The Anovos doesn't have it. But again, if you put them on top of each other, and that does have a slight bend, they both have that same angle. So if you put them on top of each other, it's a near perfect fit. Everything lines up. The only difference I notice is it's a little bit different right in this area. Other than that, it lines up perfectly. It sits on there perfectly. It's the same length. So these two are very similar. Now the back. So one thing I'm noticing is this one is more of a U, and this one is more of a rectangle look. And then obviously the details are a little bit better in the gear. If you put it, and then if you look at here how it bows in, same thing with the RS. Same exact look. Put them together, guess what? They line up perfectly. So everybody that's saying the Anovos is wonky, it's ugly, it doesn't look right, it's the same as a screen-used armor. So now we'll look at the kidney plate. So the kidney plate has a notch, has all that space right there with the plastic. Look at the RS, same thing. Same exact thing. If you put them together, very similar. They both fit in there together. So both the lines are lined up perfectly. Same length, everything, same width. Now, the butt plate. So here you have two holes for your snaps. Here you don't have any holes. The pieces come in, you can see a lot of return edge. Anovos, like I said earlier, did a return edge on it. I personally, I don't like that they did that, because I would rather make it to where I want it. Somebody that's not experienced, that's perfect. First armor, it's perfect for them. I personally didn't like it. So we put them both in. They fit perfectly. Only difference is it's a little bit longer. It's a little bit of a different angle down here. But other than that, it's the same. And then also right here, it's kind of bowed in. I don't know if maybe this is just an anomaly for this set of armor, but it's kind of bowed in right here. And this one, the details are perfect. They're sharp. So if you like the perfect asymmetrical look, you know, the sharp edges, then the Anovos is the one for you. If you like the screen accurate, not so detailed, but again, this is used on the screen, so 10 feet away, this armor will look beautiful. They'll still look the same. This one just has more detail.
And color.
and the color. The color is slightly different, but we still have the protective covering on that. Look at maybe the helmet. You can tell it's a little bit different of a color. So you're going to stick out just a tiny bit with the RS.
Yep.
Alright, so you can see the difference in length. This is totally wrong, and color, totally wrong.
That's Anovos.
This is Anovos, this is RS. Now, the width is perfect, but again, it's too long. So if you're going to go EIB or Centurion, you have to cut this down. It's too long. And the color is just off just a little bit. Not a lot, but it is off a little bit. Another thing I noticed, and I didn't like, I liked that they made these, but they didn't make the brackets how I would make them. So they're a little bit shorter. Well, actually, they look about the right length, but the bend that they put in here,
The Anovos?
the Anovos one is off. Because you're going to be putting it in that belt, and when you put it in that belt, you want it to sit just like that. With that bend, it's going to bring, you're going to actually bring the armor, or the, I'm sorry, the thermal det, it's going to be pointed up more. So when you have this piece in there, what you're going to do when it's in is it's going to actually bring it up. So you're going to be looking at the wrong part. Instead of looking at this part from behind, you're going to be looking more down here. So this is an easy fix. You can make your own, but it's an easy fix. You can actually bend these quite easily. The end caps, very similar. What I noticed and what it looks like is the depth is just a tiny bit more in the RS. But they're the same width. Okay, and then also what I don't like, and I'm not going to use any of this, is all garbage. I don't use the snaps, none of it. Same thing with these little screws that they gave you.
Anovos?
The Anovos gave you are the wrong screws. You don't use any Phillips tip on any part of this armor. It's supposed to be a pan head, and it's just a slotted, one slot. Just a flat tip screwdriver will fit in there. And it's pan headed where it's kind of rounded. See how this one's flat? So it's totally the wrong one. So I would not use these at all. Alright, now here, they look very similar. Same length and everything. The only difference with everything else is that it's just cleaner lines. That's the only difference. So it just depends on what camp you're in. If you like it really clean and sanitized, or if you like it more screen accurate.